Yeah, so two of them come to mind right off the bat. Um, a lot of people initially were kind of saying to me, Father, it seems like a great idea, but how can I give myself to St. Joseph if I've already given myself to Mary?
Mm.
Right. And I said, that's a great question. We need to put that in the Q&A, frequently asked questions, section of the webpage, which we did. And basically it's that you're not members of a one parent spiritual family, right? We have Mary as our spiritual mother and we have Joseph as our spiritual father. And this is pleasing to Jesus, right? He entrusted himself into their care, right? He didn't just live in a home with Mary, which would have been amazing, of course, but there was also Joseph. And so in this time of crisis in families, because as you good fathers know, I mean, we hear constantly about, Father, my marriage is really struggling, or my children don't go to church, and this, that, and the other. Well, now's the time to bring in Dad, our spiritual father, right into this. When we've got a time of crisis like this, I think that this is why the Holy Spirit has saved this special awareness of St. Joseph in our lives for our times, right? Marriages were not under threat like this in the past, right? We've entered into new territory here. I mean, as I said, half of all marriages end in divorce today. Time to bring in Dad, time to bring in our spiritual father, St. Joseph. And that's what people are finding is really helping them right now in a big way. The second thing would be, I cannot tell you the number of men who have said to me, Father, I have really struggled for years, decades with impurity.
Mm.
Whether they're married men, single men, whatever. And I mean, as you good fathers know, as well as I, hearing confessions, this is serious stuff. I mean, this plague of pornography is everywhere. It is saturated every aspect of society. And so many men have fallen prey to it. And that destroys marriages, relationships, all that stuff. So many men have told me, Father, I have found a new freedom in this area like I've never had before. And one of the amazing things is, this is one of the promises, as I think it was Venerable Mary of Agreda talks about, privileges of devotion to St. Joseph, is a strengthening of purity
Mm.
and a combating of against impurity. And this is wonderful because we do live in this time of so much filth everywhere that we need to go to St. Joseph to be strengthened in this area and modeled after him. Because I tell men all the time, guys, if you are falling into mortal sin in this area, you are spiritually impotent. You have no power, and the devil is not worried about you. But if you can have a chaste heart, no matter what your vocation is, right? Because we're all called to have a chaste heart. If you have that, you're going to be a terror of demons, just like your dad. You're going to be a pillar of your family. You're going to be the glory of your domestic life. You're going to be the guardian of virgins, not an abuser of the feminine mystery. And the guys are telling me off the charts. I've never heard,
Mm.
Father, I've never experienced a freedom in this area. And I've struggled, they said, for decades with this stuff
Wow.
until I did this program.